Looking at the 280 call, today's expiration. I'm going to be patient with it to make sure that we don't continue down. I think we're bottoming out, but I'm just waiting, patient. Options say the SPY might test lower.
It will be clear though. If there is a drop, another drop, and then we're going back down to lower level. It's what I love about this. It's like you're gonna see the momentum. It's not gonna be a grind. They're gonna sell. It's gonna be a sell off.
Yeah, I mean, we might get another leg down. I mean, we're bottoming out, but we might get another leg down. I'm trying
Yeah,
to just be patient to see.
yeah. Patience. Let's
Okay,
go with
options
patience.
say we're going up. That can, of course, change in any moment. Long 280 call, today's expiration.
Still going in, man.
Yep. Alright, I'm gonna stop the video here and we will check back in a few minutes. Alright, so you can see the SPY is breaking above this consolidation. We bottomed out. My contract's going up. I'm looking to get out at 60 cents, which should be the SPY just slightly over 280. I am
Val's trying to engulf it.
I'm up. Let's see, what did I pay?
Wow, that is beautiful.
I paid 34 cents. I'm up $4.50. So I'm up about 12%. I'm up 13%. And I'm gonna try and hold this for a little while. I'm looking for 100% profit on this trade, to be honest with you. I'm gonna stop the video and check back in a few minutes. All right, checking back in. We're down 10%. So knowing that this thing's going to chop around down here for a while before it moves back up, like seriously, I should have locked in that 13% up here and then bought it back down here at a lower price. And then lock in another 10% and buy it back. It's going to chop for a while. So maybe the next time it comes up here, I might do that. I mean, my long-term plan is for this to come up, you know, up into this area, locking in maybe 80% profit. And even if it comes back up here, even though it's chopping and I'm down, it'll still be worth 80% up here. But I can be locking in 13% here, 13% here, 13% here, and then as we come into the day, locking in that 80% up here, and then, you know, pulling a total of 120% overall. So I'm gonna try and make the executions. We'll see. I'm gonna come back and we'll check back in a minute. Okay, here we go. We might be getting ready to move back up into this area, and I'm gonna think about locking in that it's probably only going to be 10% this time. So just being patient here. We'll see what happens. Come back in a few minutes. All right, here we go. We're back up here where last time I was up 15%. Now I'm up maybe 8%. Just the way options work. So I should have locked it in, bought it back here, and I'd be locking it in again here. Another 15-20%. I could have added, but I'm not really trying to add to my position at this point. I failed to execute here and failed to execute here, so I'm not going to execute here. I'll wait, looking for it to come up here. I'll take it off, and then when it pulls, I'll get back in. So checking back in again in a few minutes. All right, this trade didn't work. It broke the range here at 11 o'clock. It's testing the low. I feel like the spot is going to hold yesterday's high, so I'm still holding this trade, and I might add to it if I see some sort of bounce off of this high. You can see from the start of the account we're down $4, so taking back the gains from the last trade. I've got enough buying power to go in with 2 more contracts, which would lower my average from 34 down to about 24, but it's not looking good right now. See what happens. Come back and check in a few minutes. All right, so you can see this contract came down to yesterday's low. The SPY just barely under the high from yesterday. Paying attention here for any sort of a bounce, and we'll think about adding. I really don't want to add, but if I do and we bounce back up here, it'll help. I'll take one of them off. If I'm wrong, of course, it's going to hurt. So we'll see. Checking back in a few minutes. So no time has passed. I just wanted to talk about the indexes. So the Dow hit support and is trying to bounce. The Nasdaq's making a higher low. So these are things I'm taking into consideration when I'm considering adding to this trade. So checking back in a few minutes. All right, so I'm seeing some sort of bottoming here. I might be early. The Dow's holding the support. The Nasdaq's making a higher low. I could be wrong. I went ahead and added another contract. So I paid 22 cents for this one, 34 for this one. That is a 12-cent difference, so I brought my average down by 6 cents. I now have a 28-cent average. I'm probably going to take one of them off at break even and hold the other one with a better average. We'll see what happens. If it continues to drop, I'm going to take a pretty big loss on the account. It's not going to be good. But checking back in a few minutes. Alright, it's been a little while. As you can see, this thing came down. I tried to add over here, I tried to add 2 more contracts in at 8 cents. It didn't, it came to 9 cents. I didn't get filled. Had I got filled, I would be in the green right now. So we're down $12. SPY's pushing up. I'm really looking for this to come back into this resistance, which would put my contract somewhere around 30 cents into profit. Somewhere around like 15% in the entire account, and I would probably get out right there. I'm holding 3 contracts at $71. That gives me a 24-cent average with commissions, so I'm down 4 pennies. So I might take one of them off at break even. I might take 2 of them off at break even and just call it a wash. I'm not sure at this point. You know, the markets have been every day for weeks. They've been just tanking and then ripping all the way back up in the afternoon, so I'm kind of just want to hang out to see if I can get this thing into the money. It'll be worth 50-60 cents. It'll be 100% profit. I mean, that would be really nice, especially since I have the entire account in the position now. It would be nice to double it, but wishful thinking. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it, and we'll check back in a few minutes. Alright, checking back in here, you can see the SPY is moving up. Nasdaq's at VWAP. S&P's at the 200, so this might be resistance. I might start thinking about getting out. I'm only down 2 pennies on 3 contracts, $6. My net lick is back where I started from before I made the trade a couple days ago. So I could get out right now and it'll be a wash from my other trade where I brought in the 20% on my last video. But the SPY is pushing. I'm looking for at least VWAP, maybe resistance. I'm gonna try and stay patient, see can we make a profit on this trade, even if it's just a small profit. So we'll check back in a few minutes. Alright, so checking back in, the SPY is moving up, looking for it to get VWAP and push up. I'd love to see it at resistance. I'm down 1 penny. 3 contracts, 1 penny, $3. Looking at this 27 cent was the close on this contract yesterday. Probably going to have some resistance there. That's probably going to be 280 on the SPY. This is the 280 call, so I will be at the money. And unfortunately, I'm just going to be even. I'm probably not going to make any profit on this trade. I'm probably going to get out for a wash. But this was a good lesson. Had I got filled, again, those 2 contracts at 8 cents, I would be up 300% on those 2. And I would have, you know, maybe a decent little profit on the day. It would be great. But it's okay. We're even on the day. We're down $4. We had $3 in commissions. So, okay, now we're green. $2.50. Nothing substantial. We're even basically on commissions at this point. I'm gonna try and stay patient. Pretty sure we're gonna come to VWAP and test above to 280, and might end up making 5 or 6% on the account today, but we'll check back in a few minutes. All right, so checking back in, we're down about 4 cents. Looking for the SPY to hold the 200, the S&P to hold yesterday's high, the NASDAQ to move back up over VWAP. If this fails, I'm probably going to cut it off. It's going to be about $20 loss. Not a big deal. Not what I was looking for, but just going to try and hold through this pullback. I mean, we've been grinding. The markets have been doing this, like I said, every day for weeks. I know it's Friday, and the potential for this to drop is probably pretty strong. But we should see this move on up into the afternoon before it finally gives up. So I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to see if I can survive this pullback, if we can hold the 200, move this thing back up to resistance here, and make a profit on this trade. Alright, so check back in a few minutes. Checking back in here. SPY is still consolidating up here at VWAP. I'm starting to run out of patience. I'm down 2 pennies, $6. Starting to move up. Let's go. S&P is still at VWAP. NASDAQ's moved up over the VWAP and the 200. The Dow is trying to break 26,000. Options looks like they want to go up. Down 2 pennies. I really need this SPY to move up to resistance here. I'd love to see it back at the open price. That would put me roughly up 70% on the entire account. So that's what I'm trying to stay patient for. We've been grinding. We're moving into the 2 o'clock session. I would love to see some sort of momentum into the session. I'll be looking to take profit, at least on one of the contracts here at resistance, if I can stay patient that long. S&P is starting to push through VWAP. SPY is coming up. Still down 2 pennies. Alright, we'll check back in a few minutes. Alright, so I just sold one at break even. It's showing me in a profit. I'm not really in a profit. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess because my average changed. So I'm in a profit on my position, but I locked in a small loss on the one I sold. So I'm down $7 in the account. I have $3 in commissions. So I'm down with like $4 plus commissions. S&P is trying to push through VWAP. We're moving up into the 2 o'clock session. Trying to stay patient here on these last 2 contracts to see if we can get even. on the day, maybe make a small profit. This is going to expire in about 2 hours. So unless this thing can get in the money, which we're only 7 cents out of the money, if we can't get into the money real soon, the interest on this contract is going to start fading rapidly. Very dangerous trade. Alright, so this is probably going to keep going up, but I got out break even. I lost commissions today, so down $4 or $5. 3 of it was commissions. This is probably going to keep going up, but with it expiring in an hour and a half, it's at VWAP. The Nasdaq's at opening range. The Dow can't get over 26K. The put options say they're likely getting ready to go up. The call says it's likely to come down. So I just went ahead and got out, break even, wash my hands, call it a day. Nothing gained, nothing lost. If I had got filled on those 2 contracts down here at 8 cents, or if I would have just bought them at 9 cents, up here at 24 cents, I would have been up about $45 in the account. Would have been like a 50% profit on the day, but my order didn't execute. I tried to get in a penny under. I should have just marketed in. This was at this point in time. I mean, clearly this was a bottom, and this was the time to buy. So if I was more patient to begin with, instead of getting in here, if I would have waited and got in here or even here, I would have made a nice profit today. And if I would have got filled those 2 contracts here, I would have made a nice profit today. But I'm okay with breaking even. Alright, the account was down pretty big. I didn't panic. I didn't let my emotions take over. I saw, that the S&P was at the close from yesterday and would likely bounce. It typically bounces there, and it did. And that's where this happened. So managing the emotions, got out of the trade, break even, and now it's ripping up. It's in the money now. Okay, so I would have been up 3 pennies, $10. $10 on an $80 account is what? A little over 10%. I'd still be in it. Probably would sell 1. I just ran out of patience with it, It's the way she goes. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you learn a little bit about options and how the price works. Nasdaq's back at resistance, 71.50. I'd be up $15 now. It's alright. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.